What is going on? It is showtime. For those of you who don't know, I am Dave, a 10 plus year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything. As you see the shirts, patents, copyrights, trademarks, as well as trade secrets. And hey man, today we have a full show for you guys lined up. Apologies for missing last weekend. If you guys don't know, man, I'm a little darker. I went to Disney World, or not Disney World, a Disney cruise rather. It was a 3-day cruise last weekend with some of the family members, and I had a ball. So I missed out last week. Typically, I'll try to pre-record it, but kind of given the travel plans, it was tough to kind of pre-record so that it can come out on Sunday. So I just missed it total. And I'm back again. And I'm actually excited, man. I missed you guys. I'm coming up to enjoy doing these lives, getting a chance to see what's in the intellectual property news, let you guys know updates on things that's going on that I'm doing on a week-to-week basis as it relates to intellectual property. And again, be able to interact with you guys. So definitely, to the extent that you're popping in here, make sure you interact with the chat. Get in the chat. Let me know kind of what's up, what you think about these different stories that we're going to come across. And we got some stories for you guys today. Let's see what do we have. What all do we have? We're going to be talking about Buy It Now and that show and what product that I thought stood out amongst the 4 pitches. We're going to be talking about Apple Cinema. It seems like it's a movie theater company that is essentially hijacking the name Apple, trying to kind of trade off their famous mark. We have another the interview of the week, grill cleaner Ethan Wood. Shout out to him. So we're going to talk about that. It was a plane fight. Now, not a plane fight in a sense of passengers fighting, but the airlines are fighting amongst each other with regards to trademarks. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about we got two I would say two IP breakdowns. Typically, we go through a lawsuit in real time. We got 2 of those today. They're going to go pretty quickly. That's why I did 2 as opposed to 1. So that should be interesting. And then Trump is fighting with Harvard again. This time, Trump is threatening to pull Harvard's patents. And I'm the perfect person to kind of bring you guys that story because I have a little bit of insider information as relates to kind of working within the tech transfer office within a university. So that's what we have. And then, so again, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. If you haven't already, like I said, please make sure you are participating, commenting in the chat. I would love to know what you guys think as we're going through these different stories. And to the extent that you guys have a question for me, please drop it in the chat. This is the first time, or hey, look at your boy expensive. I know it don't look like it, but to get a hold of me and kind of get an hour of my time, it's pushing $400 an hour. So anytime you can kind of drop a question, whether it's patents, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, be sure to drop that in the chat, and I will do my best to answer it, give you guys legal information, not legal advice. I'm going to provide legal information as relates to this intellectual property stuff. And as you're going to see throughout the show with these different stories, this stuff is valuable. And I do want to kind of plug some stuff, man. I have some shirts, Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. Those shirts are on the website, which it'll be, I'm not sure if Brandon is in here, but if so, if he can kind of drop that link to the website, Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. I will tell you guys, man, these shirts by far will always get you a compliment, would always get somebody to say, hey, I like the shirt. I was actually on a Disney cruise, I was telling you guys earlier, and it was some Indian guys. They had some businesses, had a pharmaceutical manufacturing company, but they also had some hotels and stuff. And I had my shirt on, my IP shirt on the cruise ship, and they was like, man, nice shirt. And next thing you know, we got to talking. They're telling me about what they do. They need an IP attorney. I'm telling them about what I do. I give them a card. So to the extent that you're a business owner, you want to plug your business without doing a cold calling thing, these shirts are a great way to do that. This Peace, Love, Intellectual Property shirt, I always get stock, whether I'm at the gym, at the mall, at a grocery store, family gathering, whatever. I always get stop with these shirts on. So kind of definitely go check those out, go purchase them. And it's going to act as a human billboard for you. So, and look, to the extent that you don't get stopped, I'll dare to give you your money back if you don't get stopped by somebody saying that they like the shirt. So definitely go check that out. What's going on, Kim? How is it going? Look at, hey, Kim, you don't know how much I appreciate you. I was actually in Muskegon this weekend visiting my mom, and I had thought about you, but you don't know how much I appreciate you for being here, always participating in the chat. And then in terms of your second question, I'll put that in the chat really quickly. The Real David, let me make sure I'm spelling it out right. TheRealDavidSpears.com. The real David Spears. Go check out that website, Kim, and you will see the shirts. I have them in white and black, and I have them in a number of sizes: small, medium, large, extra large, and to the extent that somebody who's a little bigger wants to, I have a couple double XLs in both white and black. Peace, love, intellectual property. Definitely go support it. The brand number one, as well as go man, to the extent that you got a business that you're trying to promote, man, this is a good way to get stopped out in traffic and be able to tell people about your business. Peace, love, intellectual property. And your boy do got a trademark pending on this one. So I'm getting into this mindset of not just kind of coming at you guys as an intellectual property practitioner and kind of dropping jewels on you from a kind of from legal sense, but I'm actually practicing what I preach. I have copyrights. I'm going to be dropping some books. I have the ebook, so go check that out. But I have some kids book teaching IP that I'll be coming out here with soon. I have the shirts trademarked, and then I'm coming out with some trade. I got a trade secret that I'm coming out with. That's a tool that's going to be a game changer, as well as I have a physical product that I'm looking to get a patent on. So your boy is practicing what I preach. And Kim, just so what's the name? TheRealDavidSpears.com. If you go to that, website and go to, I think shop is it, you will see the shirts on there. Like I said, I have them in both white and black. And again, moving on to the first subject, I should say, buy it now. So Amazon, they have this show. I know we all know of Shark Tank, and you do you get a deal with the shark, you pitch your product, you get a deal with the sharks after they grill, which you potentially get a deal with the sharks. But Amazon has this show called Buy It Now. And it's kind of similar to Shark Tank. However, you're not necessarily doing a deal with the sharks. I think Amazon is leveraging their online community to be able to, create a game show such that people can win an opportunity to go up online to their Buy It Now store, which is apparently an exclusive store that millions of people across the world kind of sees and be able to shop for, and you can get your product on there. So you have 100, you're pitching in front of a live audience of 100 people. Then you need 10 out of the 100 people to give you a green light saying that they will buy your product as you're pitching. If you get those 10, you move on to the actual panel of 3 members, and you need 2 out of the 3 members to say yes to your product, and you get onto the Buy It Now store. So that, again, that's been going on. I think it's episode 6 that is out, or at least that I'm on. And I do want to kind of talk about the pitch that stood out. It's called Nimble Beauty. I'm telling you, man, this artificial intelligence is going to be a game changer in a number of ways. I think the 2 biggest ways it's going to be a game changer is for entrepreneurs. It allows you to run a business lean as possible without having to hire a bunch of people to kind of do different things. I think AI is going to be able to help you out in a tremendously, but also to the extent that you have a product, you can leverage AI, which again, I'm doing one of my products, my digital products that I'm coming out with that's leveraging, the product to be able to kind of provide value to the people. And this Nimble Beauty, you see this white thing here. This is essentially a nail. It kind of paints your nails. So you see that black hole, you put your nails in there, and it essentially paints your nails. Now, it doesn't kind of give you what is it, a manicure? It doesn't kind of file your nails and do all that stuff. But to the extent that you're like, hey man, I want real nail polish, you can just kind of put your hand in there, set the settings, and I think it kind of paints on your nails in like 15 or 20 minutes or whatever the case may be. And I think it's a drying feature as well. And again, it's using AI to be able to do this. So they're crushing it. It was I think a couple that came out with the product, and I think they made like $3 million. If you go to the website, which we're on a website, if you go all the way down, let me see here. Flawless. So if you read this, let me see if I can blow it up here, just to kind of show you guys what's on the website here a little bit. If you go to their website, you see Flawless Nails with the world's first AI smart nail salon. So again, I don't think it's going to replace nail salons, just because I think the experience of going to a nail salon, being able to talk, you definitely not talking to the nail techs, but if you talk to the other people in the nail salon, or just have a girls, or to the extent that you kind of a guy and you want to go with your fellas, a guy's night, or guys or girls, whatever, at the nail salon and get that experience. I don't think it's going to take over the nail salons from that standpoint. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if nail shops or nail spas buy this product, such that in addition to physical people doing it, you can go and, they have this apparatus that does your nails as well without a physical nail tech doing it. But I was trying to go to the bottom here, because I think they're sold out, or at least last time I checked, this thing was sold out. So this thing is selling like crazy. Now, it's a pretty penny, like $500 or $600. However, again, within 6 to 8 months, you will have major money back. So for all the ladies out there who, kind of wants an alternative, and let's be honest, man, you may have a last second event that comes up that, again, a nail spot may be closed or you can't get in because of scheduling. You want a nice professional touch to your nails being able to get painted. This may be a great product for you. So, like I said, this was on Buy It Now store, Amazon's Buy It Now show that JB Smoove is the host. And I thought this was the coolest product from this past pitch. Go check out my video. I did a reaction video to that pitch and kind of told you my thoughts on it, more of a longer form. But I did want to share this with you in case you guys haven't seen this. It's called Nimble Beauty, Nimble Beauty. You go to Google, type it in. It's going to show you. You click on a website. Like I said, this is kind of white box with the black hole there. You put your hand in there, and it essentially paints your nails. You give it the settings, what color you want, and it paints your nails for you. So definitely go check out that. I thought it was cool to be able to kind of show you guys. And I guess as we move on to the next subject here, Apple Cinema, that is. I almost meant to name this show. Let me kind of pull up here, and I did a kind of a full breakdown on this, so definitely go check that out if you want to kind of more of the full thoughts on it. But it seems like Apple Cinema was slapped with a lawsuit by Apple, the Apple Store, for trademark infringement for the name here. Like I said, I'm not going to go through this in detail. Go check out my full video where I break it down in full. But I did want to do a weekly recap on this, where I almost named this show something along famous marks, because there was a couple marks that was famous that businesses are trying to trade off of, and you're going to get hit with a lawsuit every time. And I'm actually surprised Apple Cinema, they're on the East Coast. So I think they are headquartered in Massachusetts, and they've been kind of operating for like 10 years. They have, movie theater cinema called Apple Cinema, and, they show movies, and they've been kind of able to get away with it for a long time. They actually tried to file a trademark, and the USPTO rejected their trademark application in light of the Apple, the technology company. And you may be thinking like, okay, hold on. Apple doesn't have a movie theater, so why is it a likelihood of confusion? But I would say two things. Number one, Apple has streaming services. They make movies, so that is an issue. And then Apple is a famous mark. So anytime you have a famous mark, you're going to get more widespread protection in areas that you're not operating in, because, again, the courts, the federal government does not want businesses trying to trade off of the goodwill of famous marks. You see this a lot with Louis Vuitton. You'll see coffee shops pop up that say Louis Vuitton, and even though the Louis Vuitton clothes manufacturer doesn't make or doesn't sell coffee, they prevent coffee shops to be able to use this name Louis Vuitton because, again, it's a famous mark, and they don't want businesses trading off the famous and the goodwill of the mark. So, again, I'm surprised that Apple, the technology company, did not hit this Apple Cinema with a lawsuit. I think they started in like 2013, but this was the big thing that happened. The cinema, like I said, it was on the East Coast. They tried to open movie theaters on the West Coast, and we all know that Apple is headquartered, I think, in Silicon Valley out west in California. And the Apple Cinema tried to open up movie theaters on the West, really essentially in the technology company's backyard, and they got smacked with a lawsuit. So, again, word to the wise, number one, please do not try to create a term or a business having a name of a famous mark, because you are going to get smacked with a lawsuit. And number two, don't move into the person's backyard where they're headquartered, because that's going to bring more. Hey, you got to low key. Until they say like you're a drug dealer and you're doing drugs, you got to stay low key with this thing. You're already getting away. Like I said, Apple hasn't hit them with a lawsuit, and this movie theater opening up back in 2013 out on the East Coast of Massachusetts. And this seems like they were just asking for a lawsuit, definitely by moving into Apple, the technology company backyard in California. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that, whether or not you think Apple they were right to sue the movie theater company for trademark infringement, or do you not think it's trademark infringement? I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. Like I said, this trademark infringement all day. Again, Apple is a famous mark, the technology company. And again, it's clear, in my opinion, that the movie theater is trying to trade off the goodwill of Apple, the technology company, trying to, in my opinion, confuse consumers and make them think that, hey, Apple, the technology company, has opened up movie theaters or starting to open up movie theaters across the country. So, hey, this is not going to end well for Apple, the cinema company. And yeah, trademark infringement all day. So those are my thoughts on that. I definitely wanted to hit that out really quickly. Let's go to the interview of the week. And this is an interesting one. I'm going to play a clip of it here. And actually, another interesting thing about this one is, to the extent that I have barbecue grillers that watch my streams, definitely go go shop, man. Go shop the product. If you use my last name, Spears, you get 10% off the, what's the name? So the interview came out this week. I was able to more or less convince the owner, Ethan, to give people a discount if they use my last name, Spears. So to the extent that you know, hey, you're a barbecue person and you hate cleaning your grill, this is an automatic robot that cleans your grill for you. And if you use the discount code Spears, I have to put that in the chat here. Let me see here. If you use the discount code Spears for the grill, you will get 10% off your order. So with that being said, let's take a look at what this company is all about. Let me kind of add it to the screen. This is Ethan, again, the founder and owner of a GrillBot. So let's see what he has to say, and then I'll continue to give you guys my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section as we're going through the video and playing it. Let me know what you guys think about things in the comment section. Let's go.
There's been in the last few years, ever since I got rid of the big box retailers and all the stores and all that stuff, that was for me one of the scariest times, but it's proven to be one of the happiest times. I was able to sleep at night and make more money. I'm actually doing better selling direct to consumers through my website, through Amazon, through Walmart.com. And there's a direct correlation between the amount of money you pour into marketing and advertising and what you see come back. So I have, over the last 3 years, 5-10-fold increased TV ad spend, social media ad spend. So that has come back in sales. It is a proven market for it. So in my case, the more I spend, the better I do.
Oh, that shout out to Ethan. And this was actually pretty cool because I started to see this more and more as far as the product kind of popping up as advertising on my feed. And it's cool to be able to get a chance to kind of talk to the owner and the creator of the product, GrillBot. Like I said, it's a robot essentially that cleans your grill. And he was talking about in that particular clip how everybody wants to be in a big box retailer. So they want to be in Walmart. They want to be, if you're in Michigan, you heard of Meijer. They want to be in Sam's Club, Costco. But he talked about how he wasn't making as much money when he had his product in these big box retailers. But once he removed the product from the big box retailer, he started making a ton of more money. Again, this is the reason why I started this channel, is to let people know that, especially from my entrepreneurship perspective, you don't have to be in big box retail to make money these days. I know a lot of people want to be in Costco and Sam's Club and Walmart, but you don't have to do that to make money. You can go direct to consumer or DTC, and with Amazon, your personal website, social media, you can sell a ton of these things. Another thing that he said in that clip, essentially, scared money don't make money. Once he increased the amount of money that he was spending on advertisement on social media, he started to have a return on his investment 5x plus. So again, he would start spending a lot more money in advertisement, and he saw that return on his investment as it relates to sales. So again, a couple takeaways for me from that is, number one, don't try to get in big box retail. Don't think the NRB all is big box retail. Yeah, it may make sense for your particular product, and have at it if that's the case. However, you can make money on Amazon, on some of these social media platforms, especially with using ads and things like that. And then number two, what was the second thing that I was going to say? I think he also said that even though this can be looked at as a seasonal product, because typically I was over my mom's house over the weekend, and she was saying how Labor Day was like the last grilling holiday, or the grill day, as we kind of go into the fall here in the Midwest, especially in the state of Michigan, because you're starting to go off into the fall and the winter. But Ethan was saying how Christmas, he makes 75% of his sales on Christmas, around that Christmas holiday, Black Friday, where people was looking to get gifts for other people. So he said, yeah, 75% of his sales come in that holiday time, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Even though this looks as a seasonal product for the summer, he makes a lot of his money during the holiday time where people was giving gifts from others, as well as I think he said Father's Day, when you're getting gifts for your fathers or the important man in your life. He said that this product sells a ton there. So again, even though you may have a seasonal product, that does not mean that you can not make money off season. Like I said, grilling, more of a summertime thing, especially here in the Midwest or on the East Coast. However, he makes a ton of his sales in the wintertime as well as in the fall time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So again, go check it out. To the extent that you're a big griller, go purchase it, man. Use the discount code Spears to get 10% off. And we're going to continue to move on to the next thing. We have a plane fight, y'all. We have a plane fight. But this time it's not an ordinary plane or passengers that's fighting. It is airlines fighting. Now, here in the US, we're not, try to pull it up here. We're not Alaska as well as Virgin Airlines. Those are not big airlines here in the U.S. You have more so Delta, Southwest. I know Spirit is kind of more of a big one. American Airlines. I think United. Those are probably the top five. However, it seems like Alaska as well as Virgin Airlines were in a fight for trademark that essentially led to Alaska Airlines having to pay Virgin Airlines 160 million or 8 million over the course of 20 years. I'm telling you all, this trademark stuff is valuable. So again, I did a bigger breakdown on one of my videos. Go check it out. But just kind of to recap, it seems like Alaska acquired Virgin Airlines. And part of that acquisition was to be able to acquire the exclusive rights to the trademark, the Virgin trademark in the US. And it seems like Alaska tried to get over on Virgin. They acquired the trademark, acquired the company, and they tried to shut down Virgin and not use their trademark. And as a result of them shutting down and not using a trademark, they thought they were off the hook from having to pay $160 million for using a trademark. And essentially Virgin took them to court, and a judge in the UK said, no, that's not what this contract says. You guys, regardless of whether or not what you did with the trademark, whether you used it or you didn't use it, you have to pay a Virgin Airlines $8 million for 20 years or $160 million. So again, this is the benefit of, number one, having a trademark, then number two, having your contract or your paperwork right. Alaska thought they were going to get into they thought they were going to get over by acquiring Virgin, shutting down a trademark or not using a trademark, at least here in the US. And as a result of that, avoiding having to pay Virgin 160 million. But again, Virgin took them to court, and the judge said, that's not how this works. Y'all still on the hook. And I think Virgin, at least here in the US, Virgin Airlines, they were trying to they were doing some business with Delta. I love Delta, man. Delta is amazing. But so Alaska Airlines tried to say, hey, well, Virgin is breaching the contract because they're doing this business with Delta. And it seems like the court like, no, man, y'all, again, pay these people their money. Pay these people their 160 million. So I think in that case, justice was served. And again, you just trademark this IP. This stuff is valuable, especially when you get a chance to build up a name or build up a company or a product into something that other people want. Alaska acquired Virgin as well as the exclusive right to be able to use in America the trademark Virgin for 160 million. They tried to finesse them, but the court won buying it. So again, shouts out to Virgin for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like I said, go check out that full video and on the site that I broke down. We're going to move on to the next one, and this your boy Trump. I mean, I'm the perfect person to talk about this, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. I'm gonna tell you guys why I am the perfect person to talk about Trump threatening Harvard University to essentially pull their patents. And for whatever reason, man, Trump has been going hard on Harvard. I know I was looking into this. And it seems like a big reason for that is something about anti-Semitic or whatever the case may be, that I'm not going to get off into that. But I myself, as I was coming up in law school at the Michigan State University College of Law, I worked in a tech transfer department at Michigan State as I was in law school that first year. And essentially what the tech transfer department is, a lot of companies, I mean, a lot of universities, especially like big universities who have nice research, a decent research kind of lab or department, they have tech transfer departments where all the technologies that come out of that university, they go over to the tech transfer office, and the tech transfer office kind of deals with the IP and licensing and essentially making money from them so that they can make money for the university. I think Michigan State, man, they had a blueberry. It was some blueberry that they got a patent on. They were making a ton of money off of that blueberry patent. It was like tens of millions of dollars in the tech transfer office. So again, from the research departments or whatever at that university, once they kind of get something that they think is novel and should be protected, they send it to the tech transfer office. I was like the intern, a commercialization intern. So I'll take the product, do a market research, and do a little bit of a patentability search, give a presentation to the managers to say whether or not we should proceed with this product. And then if I say yes, the managers would essentially work with outside counsel to get a patent on it and then work to try to get it licensed to other people. So that's essentially what a tech transfer department is. Again, Harvard has one. And a lot of times with these tech transfer departments, when they're kind of building companies and even the research departments themselves, they're federally funded. So Michigan, the federal government gave Michigan State a lot of research money, just like the federal government gives Harvard a lot of research money. And in exchange for that research money, they get essentially a non-exclusive license on the IP, on the patents. And you can see this because if you have a patent that has been given research money from the federal government, you have to put it at the top of the patent that, hey, this patent was supported by essentially the federal government giving us money to be able to kind of get a patent on a product. So again, just like Michigan State and Harvard, when they get their IP protected, the federal government has a non-exclusive license to be able to use the actual technology. And to the extent that the research university, Michigan State or Harvard in this case, they are not giving or allowing that technology to be accessible to the public, the federal government does have the right to come in and essentially kind of take the patent away from the university. I can tell you that rarely happens. Again, the federal government, it's a business, but they are not in business of these individual technologies. They give the money, they have some type of ownership in it, essentially, or a license in this case. However, they typically don't mess with the university in terms of saying, hey, what you can and can't do with the product. It's up to the university to license it out to companies to make money for their university. I think the whole tech transfer department was essentially kind of, again, making money for the university to support themselves, but also to make money for the university. So in this case, in my opinion, I think Trump is messing with Harvard a little bit too much. You see the article, it says Trump administration threatens to take Harvard's patents. Like I said, the federal government would never do this. They can do this. Technically, it's in a wheelhouse, but this is not what typically happens because the federal government doesn't care. They're going to give you the money to be able to develop your product and kind of create a business off of it and make money off of it. And then their kind of hands are like kind of whatever. Yeah, they do have a license to be able to kind of use it or whatever the case may be. But again, the federal government is not into trying to create businesses off of these technologies that are being developed at the universities. They're relying on the university to do that. So when Trump is doing this, he's, like I said, he's messing with them because no federal government, no administration would do this. It seems like he has something out for Harvard. And like I said, even though it's within the wheelhouse of the federal government and the executive branch, Trump and his administration to do this, it'll never happen. So again, that's that. Let me know what you guys think about that. He hasn't done it. I guess he has informed Harvard that they're going to be looking at all of their patents to make sure that they are kind of using them or licensing them. And to the extent that they're not, then I guess he's saying they can be taken from the federal government. And I can tell you, one of the big things is the federal government or the university, they want to try to license and make money off the product. It doesn't make sense for them to get a patent, then sit on it. They're trying to make money off of it to make money for the university and be held in like high regard, not only by the government, but also by the university. So I think this personally is a witch hunt. If I had to keep it kind of 100 and kind of tell it like it is or be honest, I don't think Harvard is sitting on any patents. I think any patents that they can make money from and license it, I think it's in their best interest to do so for the university's sake, as well as to try to get more money from the federal government. So I think this is a witch hunt, and for whatever reason, Trump has it out for Harvard clearly. So kind of that's that. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, and to the extent that you guys have some additional information that I'm not considering, definitely let me know on that. Meanwhile, we will move on to the next subject, which is one of the first lawsuit breakdowns. Like I said, we have two lawsuit breakdowns for today. The first one is going to be pretty straightforward. Let me kind of pull it up here or tee it up here. And it's essentially Gucci. It's Gucci. So we're going to take a look at this one really quickly, and then we're going to go through kind of the next one. So Gucci is suing a gun club, which you see here, Gucci America, which is a New York corporation. They're suing Gucci Gun Club, which is a Nevada company, obviously by its name. They're selling guns. They're using them. They're suing them for trademark infringement. Let me say this, man. Again, as I said earlier, with regard to Apple Cinemas and Apple, the technology company suing Apple. If you are trying to create a business using the name of a famous mark, you are going to get sued. To the extent that the chat or you guys who are watching this and listening to this, please send this to your friends, your families, somebody who you know who's trying to start a business that's kind of trying to, tag on or use a famous mark to try to get notoriety or recognition. They're going to get sued. These famous companies, they have trademark services that scan the ether, the internet, vigorously day in and day out to see who's using their mark. And to the extent that they're using their mark, they're going to get sued. So I did want to say that. Let me get back to the lawsuit here so we can kind of go through it really quickly before we kind of go to the next one. So let's see here. We all know Gucci, so I'm not going to kind of read their stuff in detail in terms of the information about them. But let's start off with the substance of the action. Gucci is one of the world's most renowned and influential fashion brands. Okay, we all know that. Upon information and belief, Gucci Gun Club is a hobbyist shooting club with the tagline "More money than skill." They should have trademarked that. More money than skill. I like that. They uses a variety of the Gucci marks and infringing marks confusingly similar to the Gucci logo. We're going to take a look at some of these marks. Again, obviously, like I said, it's a Gucci famous brand. To the extent that you don't think Gucci is a famous brand, I mean, you definitely need to call and kind of book a session with me on that. These are some of the Gucci marks. So Gucci obviously has a trademark on the word Gucci, but then you see the Gucci, the GG, the logos, different logos that they have a trademark. Obviously, you see the green with the red, the green red stripe with the red stripe in between the two green stripes. They have a trademark on that as well. And these are essentially some of the word marks. So Gucci, and then this is the design mark, stylized Gucci word mark. There you have it. So let's go down and see what the gun club is doing. Defendants unlawful action. So like I said before, Gucci Gun Club is a hobbyist shooting club. According to its website, Gucci Gun Club hosts events, members-only range days, in online form, and has negotiated club discounts. Let me know if you are watching this and you're a member of the Gucci Gun Club. Y'all probably should have hit me up before y'all started to do this, but it is what it is. So the Gucci Club's motto is more money than skill, meaning that members have more money than skill, more net worth than footwork. So it seems like if you're a part of the Gucci Gun Club, you got some money and probably don't know how to shoot a gun. To join the Gucci Gun Club, the website suggests that a prospective member must love shooting, enjoy the finer things in life, and have more money than you have skill. Man, that's crazy. The Gucci Gun Club logo features at least 3 of the Gucci marks. So this is crazy, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the shirts of the Gun Club members. And like, this is what I'm saying. Who thought? Let me know in the comments if you thought that, if they thought that they were going to get away with this. Not only are they using the word mark Gucci, but they are using the stripe, the red stripe in the middle of the 2 green stripe. It looked like they have the pattern too that's around it. It was no way that they were going to get away with this. This is crazy. Let's see what else they have. Great things are on the horizon. You see the Gucci Gun Club. They have the logo here, which it looks to be a logo. And then I don't know if it's people who have too much money to the point where they want to give it away, but there's no way they thought they were going to get away with it. So the store tab of the website is shown above. Great things are on the horizon. Something big is brewing. Our store is in the works and we'll be launching soon. So they don't even have a store yet. But again, you see the guys sitting down. Apparently these guys have money. You see them with their shirts on that they were never going to get away with it. See the Gucci pattern on the front of this lady shirt to the right there. You see the back of the shirt that also has that stripe pattern, the word Gucci, as well as that GG pattern. So let's see here on May 27th. So a couple months ago, Gucci wrote to the Gun Club requesting that it cease using the Gucci marks and infringing Gucci rights, and that they're infringing Gucci's rights. A representative also, it looks like they at least responded. This is a good thing because a lot of times you see these people blowing off the trademarks or blowing off the cease and desist letter. It seems like these guys at least responded. What did they say? They denied that Gucci Gun Club was using any of the Gucci marks, but admitting that they wanted to evoke Gucci. Yeah, sometimes people just got way too much money. Seems like they wanted to piss them off. Who think that this is similar? They're using the Gucci marks in these pictures. Because apparently when they responded, they're saying, hey, we're not using any of the Gucci marks. Doesn't look like it. That people have way too much money. So upon information and belief, Gucci Gun Club has manufactured, advertised, offered for sale, so forth and so on. The Gucci marks. Gucci Gun Club has also, upon information and belief, sold memberships in this club using marks that are identical to or highly similar to the Gucci marks. Gucci Gun Club organization, as well as the clothing and accessories mentioned, were not authorized or approved by Gucci. And essentially, let's see, harm caused by the defendant, infringing conduct. Now, I will say this, as I'm kind of thinking out in real time, I think this is a way that they're trying to start some type of a social club for people with money by using this kind of Gucci marks. Obviously, Gucci being a famous mark. And when you got that Gucci on, we know that you got a little bit of money. And I think that they started this gun club to try to attract members who have money to be able to pay this membership fee, being able to shoot. But more importantly, like I said, they know that the members have money. They're using the Gucci marks to do that. I think that's what happened. Like I said, they're not going to get away with it. They're probably going to have to pay Gucci some money, but it looks like that's essentially what happened. Let's get back to the lawsuit and finish this one up. As a result of the gun club use of the Gucci marks in connection with this promotion of the gun club, which I think exactly what it was doing, it was using the Gucci marks to promote the gun club. The consuming public is likely to be confused, deceived, and misled into believing that the goods and services offered by the gun club under the GGC logo, the infringing interlocking GGC marks, and the infringing monogram mark are offered, licensed, authorized, and endorsed and sponsored by Gucci. I mean, I think they were in there right with that one. So what do you guys think? Let me know. This is pretty straightforward. They're just kind of regurgitating some of the stuff above. I do want to kind of go into this next one because this next one was near dear to where I'm at in Michigan with some stores. But let me know what you guys think about the Gucci marks in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about the Gucci marks in the chat on whether or not you think the gun. Why did the gun club do this? Do you think they're doing this to try to get members, or do you think they're doing it for another reason? Whatever reason it was, I could have told them that they weren't going to get away with it, and they're going to probably have to pay Gucci, the clothing company, some money. So again, word to the wise: do not try to do this because you're probably not going to get away with it. Let's kind of move on to the last breakdown before I get you guys up out of here. Man, just in and out today, man. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. Please hit that like button if you haven't already to be a part or for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community, as I was saying before. Also, go check out the Peace Love Intellectual Property shirts. That link is, I guess, in the chat. I think I did put it in the chat, so definitely go check out that. Let's get to this next lawsuit. So if you are in Michigan, you know this company. So let's see here. This is not the one. Yes, it is. Here we go. So Roots Corporation, which apparently is a Canada company, is suing Meijer. So those of who are from Michigan or maybe in the Midwest, you know Meijer is a big retail chain. They have a ton of stores in Michigan. I think they have some in other spots in the Midwest, such as Illinois. I think they have some stuff in Indiana, maybe even Ohio. So Michigan is Meijer is a big retail corporation that's headquartered in Michigan, but they have stores all over the Midwest. I think at least 500 stores. Seems like Roots is a clothing company that sells in Michigan, but obviously, as you can see here, is from Canada. So let's kind of get through this one. This is an action to prevent a regional supercenter chain, which again, the regional supercenter chain is Meijer's, from free writing off the goodwill that Roots has invested in building around its beloved Roots brand for more than half a century. So it seems like Roots been around for at least 50 years. Roots was founded in 1973 by Michael Budman and Don Green, who were born and raised in Detroit. Shout out to Detroit, that's where I'm located. And met at a summer camp in Ontario. Did they move to Ontario? Roots first began offering products under the trademark Roots in the U.S. in 1973. Soon after, it opened a retail store in Birmingham, Michigan, which is a pretty influent city in Michigan, Detroit metro area that has developed a loyal following. As a result, the premium casual apparel, leather goods, headwear, footwear, bags, and various other accessories and home goods that Roots offer under its Roots marks have grown in popularity in Michigan and across the U.S. Roots moved into children's clothing was closely tied to the personal lives of the company Michigan-bred founders. As they started families, they began designing and producing kids' clothing that reflected the same quality. So they made it a family business. For decades, the Roots has been well known for its children's clothing, which it sells directly to consumers, or DTC, as well as to third-party retailers, B2B. Meanwhile, defendants, Meijer operates a chain of supercenters headquartered in Michigan with hundreds of locations throughout the Midwest. I told you they are headquartered in Michigan, but they have them all over the Midwest. I know I've seen some in Illinois. They have some, I think, in Ohio and other states in the Midwest. Meijer retail stores offers a variety of items, including groceries, electronics, household items, clothing, bags, and other accessories. Roots recently learned that despite its well-established rights and Roots and various other Roots formative marks, including Baby Roots, Roots Kids, Roots Athletics, defendant applied to register the trademark Roots and Threads with the USPTO. Furthermore, upon information to believe, Meijer is launching a line of children's clothing under the Roots Threads for the 2025 back-to-school season. Upon information of belief, Meijer plans to move forward with its launch even after being placed on notice of the scope of Roots' rights in the Roots market in connection with the children. Roots is concerned about inevitable confusion among consumers who will mistakenly assume the Roots and Threads brand clothing originates from essentially Roots. That seems pretty fair. So we're going to go to, I'm going to skip that. We're going to go to the unlawful conduct. But I do want to kind of bring it back on myself before we go to the unlawful conduct. Look, let me tell you guys something. This has been happening more and more. And this, I like these shows because I get a chance to tie everything in. This happened, I did on one of my previous lives about Sam's Club being sued by somebody who was selling their clothes in Sam's Club, but then Sam's Club was trying to essentially copy their name to try to get consumers to kind of buy their product. You know, all these big retailers, whether it's Sam's Club, whether it's Meijers, they have their brand name. I think Meijers is like Falls Creek. Somebody correct me in the chat, but I think Meijers' private brand is Falls Creek. I forget what Sam's Club is, but what happened in the Sam's Club case was, again, the retailers, they know what's selling. So they're going to a lot of times try to kind of bend the rules or cross the line and create names that are similar to the brand names that are selling in their store. That happened in the Sam's Club case. Seems like that's what's happening in Meijers. Roots, it looks like they were maybe, they were D2C, but it seems like for whatever reason, Meijer knew that Roots had a nice following, so they tried to create a brand name called Roots and Threads to try to essentially, at least allegedly, based on what Roots allegations is, confuse the consumer so that when you walk in Meijer and you see the Roots and Threads, you're like, oh, this is Roots. And you're going to buy the Roots and Threads clothing thinking that it's somehow associated with Roots, which in actuality, it's Meijer's brand. So again, man, just be careful because I'm starting to see this happen more and more where big box retailers, they are looking at what's selling. They're trying to create a brand name that's similar to what's selling so they can kind of siphon off the sales from that trademark brand name that's kind of killing it in the sales. So that's happening more and more. And again, I was talking about earlier about people not wanting to, with Ethan and his kind of grill box, not wanting to be a big box retailer. This is another reason that people don't want to be in big box retailers because the big box retailer has all the sales information, the revenue information. They're doing this more and more where when they see something that's selling like crazy, they're going to create a product that's similar, not only in type, but also similar in name and try to take those sales away. So again, be careful when y'all creating products and giving it to the big box retailers or whatever the case may be. Seems like Roots, the Canadian company that was founded by two Detroit. I'm gonna have to try to reach out to them and get them on a podcast, man. But the clothing company that was founded by two Detroit natives seems like they somehow moved to Canada, Ontario, Canada, and headquartered in Ontario, Canada. It seems like they are suing Meijers, a Michigan-based company, based on the fact that Meijers was trying to get over on them. So we're going to continue to read this, but I did want to kind of bring that up because I'm seeing this happen more and more. So the defendant is based in Grand Rapids. I'm from a small town in Muskegon, which is 30 minutes west of Grand Rapids. So shout out to Rap. So Roots is based in Grand Rapids. Roots owns and operates a chain of more than 500. Meijer is based in Grand Rapids. Meijer owns and operates a chain of more than 500 retail superstores throughout the Midwest. Meijer stores offer a wide range of products, electronics, household items, clothing, bags, so forth and so on. Meijer sales revenues last year totaled more than $21 billion. Meijers made $21 billion last year. And to be honest with you, that sounds a little low. Upon information and belief, an appreciable portion of Meijers revenues can be attributed to the private label apparel and accessories. So they're saying that a portion of that revenue is based on Meijers products. Meijers obviously sell the name brands such as like DiGiorno's Pizza, or they sell Nike products, Puma products, but they also sell their own private labels. That's essentially what that paragraph is talking about. Meijers previously marketed its line of children's clothing under Falls Creek Kids, which they have trademarked. So that was Meijers kids clothing, Falls Creek Kids. I bought my daughter some Falls Creek Kids, so I knew it was something. So Meijer is launching a large-scale back-to-school collection for children in 2025 called Roots and Threads. I'm telling you, they are trying to take the sales off of Roots, the Canadian company. On October 23 of last year, Meijers filed a USPTO mark Roots and Threads for jewelry, backpacks, handbags, carrying bags, and all type of essentially clothing which is this will be class 25, footwear, gloves, hats, so forth and so on. The USP, listen to this. I'm gonna bring it back on myself, but this paragraph is extremely important. The USPTO examining attorney assigned to review the Roots and Threads application issued a non-final office action May of this year, refusing to register Roots and Threads based on the likelihood of confusion with Roots. Let me bring it back on myself. I'm telling y'all, if y'all not learning something, let me know if y'all learn something with these lives. And I always have said this. If you file a trademark application, please listen up, please listen up, please listen up. If you file a trademark application with the USPTO and they issue you a non-final office action that's saying that your mark is confusingly similar to another mark, and you use that mark anyway, you're probably going to get sued by that company at some point. So in Myers' case, Myers tried to actually trademark the term Roots and Threads. And the USPTO said, hey, this is the likelihood of confusion with the Canadian company trademark for Roots. Seems like Myers said, screw y'all, USPTO, we're going to use it anyway. And I always tell y'all, if y'all blow off this USPTO office action saying that your mark is confusingly similar to another mark and use that mark anyway, that company is going to sue you. It's 90% guaranteed that company is going to sue you at some point. And that's what happened here. Myers said, man, screw what y'all talking about, USPTO. We're going to use this Roots and Threads anyway. And Roots, the Canadian company, sued them. This happens time and time again. And I'm trying to keep y'all from getting sued because that money that y'all paying me as the attorney to write these cease and desist letters, to pay a litigation attorney to file this lawsuit or to defend the lawsuit, y'all can be pouring that back into the business. So, and I got, look at your boy, I'm on it. I got something that's coming out here shortly. It should be coming out at the end of the month. It's a tool that y'all can use to try to help y'all out with these situations, and I'm excited about it. So let's get back to the lawsuit to try to finish up on it. So paragraph 46 talking about that the USPTO sent Meyer not a cease and desist letter, but an office action saying that y'all Roots and Threads mark is similar, likelihood of confusion with the Roots prior registered mark. So the examining attorney determined that the Roots portion of the Roots and Threads mark is dominant and distinctive, given that Threads portion of the mark is merely descriptive with respect to the Roots and Threads goods. Therefore, the Roots and Threads mark is confusingly similar. Roots learned of the Roots and Threads application during the course of its regular trademark. What did I tell y'all with the Apple situation? I said these companies routinely monitor who is using their mark or who's using marks that are confusingly similar. That's what that paragraph 48 is saying. Roots learned of this application during its course of its regular trademark monitoring and policing. Based on its concern that both registration and use of the Roots and Threads marks are likely to cause consumer confusion, Roots essentially sent the cease and desist letter to Myers to abandon its efforts, despite the fact that it is on actual notice of the scope of Roots nationwide rights, including on in connection with the Roots goods. Myers has not withdrawn the Roots trademark application. So essentially, the Canadian company wanted Myers to abandon their application. That's essentially what they wanted to do. Myers has not agreed to cease the Roots and Thread marks either. Instead, Myers appears to be moving forward with the launch. Screw you, USPTO. Screw you, Roots. We're going forward with it. Upon information and belief, the Roots and Threads goods do not meet the quality and durability standards. And because Roots, along with other major brands, routinely licenses rights to the others, they don't want the likelihood of confusion or people to get confused, thinking that Roots and Threads is somehow associated with the Canadian company. So upon information and belief, Myers is intentionally capitalizing on that likelihood of confusion to increase the perceived value of its merchandise and divert sales from Roots. I told you all this. Like I don't read these. I skim. I read the first couple paragraphs and I skim the rest just to make sure it's at least something that I'm interested in talking about and it has some kind of valuable learning lessons. But I don't read these things in detail. I read them in real time in detail. Roots is concerned that the goodwill surrounding its Roots mark will be damaged when consumers who mistakenly believe that Roots and Threads goods originate from Roots learn that the Roots and Threads goods are not the same high quality, long-lasting, and stylish children's clothes offered by Roots. That's pretty much all. I'm not even going to read the count one, the trademark infringement in violation with the Lanham Act. That's pretty much it. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I know, to the extent that you're still here, let me know where you're from. Let me know your name. If you have a question, like I said at the beginning, your boy billable hour rate is almost $400 an hour. So you're probably not going to be talking to an attorney intellectual property attorney, I should say, who kind of has the information that I have as relates to IP, trademarks, copyrights, as well as patents. So to the extent that you do have a question on IP, subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button and then put your question in the chat. And I'll do my best to answer it. Again, as I told you guys, a lot of these stories that we talked about today was people trying to create companies and create names of their companies to piggyback off a famous mark such as Gucci, such as Apple. That's not going to get away with it. You're not going to get away with that. In this case, as we saw with this Roots versus Myers, to the extent that you file a trademark application and you get a office action saying it's a likelihood of confusion with the registered mark already, and you continue to use that mark, you're probably going to get sued. I'm trying to stop. Your boy trying to look out for y'all. I don't want y'all wasting y'all money. Y'all can be putting it back into the business to grow the business. But I'm telling you, it's almost a 90+% that to the extent that you're using marks that have been, examined and said to be likelihood of confusion or already registered mark, you're going to get sued. So I'm trying to kind of give you guys a heads up with that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like I said in the comment section, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. Your boy was glad to be back. I know I took last week off. You see, I'm a little darker, man. Your boy was in on a Disney cruise, but I'm excited to be back. I'm kind of growing. I actually enjoy doing these things, and based on some of the products that I have coming out, is with the tool. I almost said the name of it, but the tool as well as a physical product. Hey, things are going to get a lot more interesting as I kind of go through this journey, not just as an IP practitioner, but as an entrepreneur who's essentially practicing what I preach. Some kind of last minute things. Check out Peace Love Intellectual Property. The link, the website, realdavidspirits.com is in a chat. So go check out that shirt, Peace Love Intellectual Property. To the extent that you have a business, I guarantee you will be stopped by people saying that they like the shirt. I get stopped all the time in a shirt. And it can act as essentially a billboard to be able to kind of talk about your business with people who stop you and say that they like the shirt or what do you got going on with IP. So go check out that, as well as go check out the ebook Got IP, to the extent that you want to learn how to kind of think of an ideal and monetize your ideal. That link is on the website as well, therealdavidspirits.com. Got a couple other products that's coming out. What are some children books that should be dropping by the end of the year for sure. That children's book will. So teaching IP to kids. So I'm trying to give the information back so that you guys can take it, especially with AI. AI taking jobs left and right. And I think this is a great time to be able to utilize AI as a bit for your business as an entrepreneur, to be able to run lean as possible without a whole lot of, a lot of employees, and still kind of make the most and have a lot of sales. So I'm trying to kind of do my part to give back and not just be an IP practitioner, but also an entrepreneur as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. Thanks for participating. And I'll see you guys next week. Guys, take care. Peace.